He was sitting at your desk last year. He made more mistakes than you. He left earlier than you. He had fewer qualifications than you. And now he is your manager. You've been in that room. You know exactly how that announcement felt. The email with the subject line you'll never forget. The handshake you had to give while your jaw stayed tight. The smile you had to perform in front of people who were watching to see how you'd handle it. And something inside you, quiet, heavy, and completely real, broke. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly, like a door clicking shut on something you thought you still had time to reach. You told yourself it wasn't fair, and you were right. But here's the truth they'll never teach you in any classroom, any HR seminar, or any motivational speech that ever wasted 90 minutes of your life. Fairness is not the game being played in that building. You have been playing chess, and they have been playing a completely different game, with completely different rules that nobody handed you when you walked through the door on day one. He didn't outwork you. He didn't outsmart you. He read something you were never supposed to find. He understood a system designed to stay invisible to people exactly like you. This video is that system, exposed. You are not the problem. Let me say that again because you need to hear it with every part of yourself that spent the last 3 years quietly doubting your own worth. You are not the problem. You were diligent. You hit your targets. You stayed late when no one asked you to. You mentored the new hire. You cleaned up messes that weren't yours to clean. You never complained, never caused scenes, never asked for more than you were given. You were, by every metric they placed in front of you, excellent. And that is exactly why they passed you over. The system does not reward your output. It rewards your visibility. It doesn't track how hard you worked. It tracks how often the right people thought about you when an opportunity appeared. And you, loyal, heads down, results-focused you, made yourself invisible to the only people who held the keys. While you were busy producing, he was busy positioning. While you were solving problems in silence, he was making sure every solved problem had his name attached to it in a room you were never invited into. While you delivered results to your manager, he was delivering impressions to your manager's manager. This is not cynicism. This is the architecture of every organization on Earth. And a man named Niccolo Machiavelli mapped it with chilling precision 500 years ago, and the men at the top have been reading it ever since. They don't want you to read it too. Niccolo Machiavelli was not a villain. He was a diagnostician. He looked at power, raw, unfiltered, institutional power, and he described exactly how it operated, without flinching, without moralizing, and without protecting the feelings of people who preferred comfortable lies over uncomfortable truths. He wrote The Prince in 1513, not as a manual for tyrants, but as an honest map of human behavior when status, survival, and ambition are in the room together. Rulers buried it. Churches condemned it. Schools gave you a version so sanitized it meant nothing. And for 500 years, the men who climbed the highest kept a quiet copy close while telling everyone else. It was dangerous to read. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Read that again, slowly, because that one sentence is the entire reason you got passed over. They saw someone who appeared to be a reliable worker. They did not experience you as a leader, a threat, or an inevitable force. That is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. I'm starting now. Lesson 1. The invisible man gets nothing. Hard work is invisible by design. The boardroom doesn't run on output, it runs on stories. And the story being told about you, in the rooms you aren't in, is deciding your entire trajectory right now. You know this man. You've worked with him. He walks into a meeting and says very little, but what he says lands. He doesn't send the most emails, but the ones he sends get forwarded. He doesn't stay the latest, but somehow his name lives in every conversation that matters. That is not charisma. That is not luck. That is deliberate, patient positioning. And it is the first thing Machiavelli understood about power that most hardworking people never learn. Starting today, identify the 3 people in your organization who make decisions about your future, not your direct manager, the people above and beside them. Now ask yourself, what do they think of when they hear your name? If you don't know, that is your first and most urgent problem. Drop this in the comments. I am done being invisible. Lesson 2. The sponsor is worth 10 managers. Everyone is told to build a good relationship with their manager. Machiavelli would have told you that's a trap. Or at the very least, only half the game. Your manager grades your performance review. Your sponsor decides when your name gets mentioned in the conversation about the open role. A manager gives you feedback. A sponsor gives you access. And the man who got promoted over you, he found his sponsor, not through flattery, not through politics in the petty sense, but by making himself genuinely useful to someone, powerful enough to open a door no manager could reach. This knowledge is for protection, not destruction. Understanding the sponsor dynamic doesn't make you manipulative. It makes you literate in the only language that counts, inside any institution that has ever existed. Starting today, stop performing exclusively downward and sideways. Start creating value that is visible to the person your manager reports to. One strategic impression at the right level is worth a year of invisible effort. Lesson 3. Information is the real currency. Machiavelli understood that the prince who controlled information controlled outcomes. In your office, in your department, in your industry, it operates exactly the same way. The man who got promoted was not just working, he was listening. He was inside the informal conversations that never appear on any agenda. He knew which project was about to become a priority before the announcement was made. He knew which executive was unhappy with a team's direction 3 weeks before anyone else felt the shift. Not because he was a gossip, because he had built a network of people who trusted him enough to tell him things. Information asymmetry is power. Right now, you are making decisions with half the information available to someone else in your same building. That gap is not small. That gap is the promotion you didn't get. Starting today, invest 15 deliberate minutes a day in conversations outside your immediate team. Ask more than you tell. Listen more than you speak. You are not collecting gossip. You are collecting context that no performance review can give you. Drop this in the comments. I see the board now. Lesson 4. Perception is the position. They will tell you that perception isn't everything. That results are what matter in the end. This is a comforting lie told to people they don't plan to promote. Perception is the position. How you speak in a high-stakes meeting, how you carry yourself when a senior leader is in the room, how you handle a public failure. These things don't decorate your career. They are your career. The man who got promoted understood this early. He walked into that building looking like the next level. Long before anyone assigned him the title, he spoke about problems at the level above him. He owned outcomes with the language of someone who had already arrived. Machiavelli wrote entire chapters on the necessity of appearances, because he understood that in any human organization, subjective decisions are made by people who see more than they measure, which describes every organization that has ever promoted a human being. Starting today, present yourself one deliberate level above where you currently sit. In language, in posture, in the scope of problems you volunteer to own. Dress the role before you have it. Speak the role before they give it to you. Lesson 5. Patience is a power move. The man who got promoted did not leap at the first visible opportunity. He waited. He studied the terrain. He understood that moving too early marks you as desperate and moving too late marks you as passive. The precise window, the strategic window, is what separates men who climb from men who plateau. Machiavelli called this virtue, not virtue in the moral sense. but the capacity to read a moment and act with surgical precision when the moment is right. Fortune does not simply favor the bold. Fortune favors the prepared person who is also paying attention to timing. You may have lost an opportunity because you spoke too early, before the room was ready to hear what you were saying, or too late, after someone else had already moved into the space. The right idea at the wrong moment is a wasted idea. Begin studying timing as its own discipline. Drop this in the comments. My timing is my weapon. Lesson 6. Know when to stop performing loyalty. This is the lesson nobody wants to hear, because it cuts closest to the truth most people are hiding from. Loyalty is not a career strategy. Blind, unreciprocated institutional loyalty is a cage that well-meaning, hardworking people build for themselves and then spend years wondering why they cannot move. The man who got promoted loved his team, and he was already quietly building his external reputation, deepening his professional network, and ensuring that his value was never entirely dependent on one organization's opinion of him. He played fully in the game he was in, and he never once forgot that the game could change without warning. Machiavelli warned that the prince who relies entirely on the goodwill of others is finished the moment the wind turns. Do not let your ambition be held hostage by anyone's approval. You are not a resource to be managed. You are a force to be positioned. Drop this in the comments. My value does not require their validation. You have been waiting for the right moment, waiting for the right person to notice what you already know you're capable of, waiting for the system to reward you the way you were told it would if you simply kept working hard. Stop waiting. The old you is dead. The man who kept his head down, trusted the process, and believed that excellence alone was enough. He's gone. You buried him today in this video, with every word that landed where it was supposed to land. You are not a loyal employee waiting to be chosen. You are a weapon pointed at your own future. Every skill you carry, every relationship you build from this moment forward, every room you walk into is now a deliberate move on a board you finally understand. They promoted him because he played the real game. Now you know what the real game is. Now you know the rules that were always operating. Right in front of you, hidden in plain sight, running on every person who ever walked past you into a corner office without looking back. You belong to no one. Your ambition owes no allegiance to any organization that would replace you without pause and forget. Your name within a quarter. The only question left, the only one that matters, is whether you are finally willing to play this game to win. If this found you at the right time, if something inside this video cracked something open that needed to be opened, then you already know you're exactly where you need to be. Don't subscribe because I asked you to. Subscribe because you've decided that this kind of thinking is what your life requires right now. That decision belongs entirely to you. One question, and I want your real answer and not the safe one. Verse in the comments below. What is the one move you've been too afraid to make that you already know would change everything? Leave it below, because that answer, that specific, honest answer, is exactly where your next chapter begins.